Hi everyone, welcome to JMC Jams episode 11 of season 1. We've got one more to go after this and then we'll wrap up for the semester, which is awesome actually because we only ever planned to maybe have 5. So we've doubled that already and that's really cool. And then today we're going to be reflecting on something that happened earlier on in the semester. I'm talking to Jessica Olamit, who is from Del Mar High School. And Jessica is in charge of developing this journalism program over there. And we had a whole load of fun actually in October when she brought her students here to bootcamp, workshop, learning all aspects of what we do here in journalism, from broadcast through to print, did some little exercises, kind of cool. And now we're going to be working on something that's a little bit more evolved as well. So we're now going to be sending our students into Del Mar to mentor some of the students on the journalism program there. So we're just here to kind of recap and talk about it and kind of get excited. We're going to have a couple of the students from Del Mar joining us in a few as well and see what they felt about the whole thing. So welcome, Jessica.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us a bit about what you're doing over at Del Mar.
So I was approached last fall by the people at Mosaic, specifically Sharon Noguchi, asking if we'd be interested to start a paper on campus. And I was really excited about the idea, so I asked my principal and basically got the go-ahead. And we launched our first class this year. And it's officially called Introduction to Media Studies because we will be doing podcasting and starting to hopefully dive into some broadcasting as well. But we're starting, with more traditional journalism. We started with an Instagram page, or do you say page? I'm so not socially. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. The students have taught me all the right words and I still don't use them correctly. And then we have a website now. Next semester, we're going to do a first print edition. But it's just, we haven't had a program on our campus for, I want to say at least over 12 years. So we just kind of started again. We renamed the paper. We're the Del Mar Dispatch.
You got to stick it here.
Yeah, and it's just been really exciting. We've had some incredible mentorship. So again, from Mosaic, they helped us bring in a graphic designer who helped do our logo. We had a photojournalist come in and taught students about how to take better pictures. Sharon Noguchi has done an entire boot camp the week before school started with us, along with Maya, I'm going to forget how to say her last name, I'll just say. She was a journalism teacher at Santa Clara High. And then we've also partnered with Cal Matters, and we've had really great mentorship through there. So with all of that support, it's kicked off really well. We have 25 students in the class, and I don't know, they've already written probably over 40 stories so far. They're just going, guns blazing.
Yeah.
So it's great.
So it's a multimedia program, yeah?
Yeah, so this year's an Intro to Media Studies course, and then next year we're going to offer an Advanced Media Studies, and then we'll see where we can go from there. But at the minimum, we know we'll have a 2-year pathway for students. And
that's really cool because, those are the kind of programs that get students excited about, joining the world of news storytelling and using different platforms to kind of get their message across.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the newspaper online, so it's really cool to see something like that kind of taking shape,
Yeah.
And seeing it from the beginning too. And when you guys came to us here at San Jose State, what were your expectations for that day?
I had none. First, I was just excited that you even responded to my email because I just wrote to a generic email account and I did not have a lot of faith that anyone would reply. And you were so speedy and enthusiastic. And then I loved our day when we came. One, because you guys did all the work. As a teacher, I have never gone on a field trip where I had to do so little. It was so fun. I just got to enjoy. So you guys planned a great day for us. We took a tour, but the tour had a journalistic purpose. So the students were divided into half were given the task to think more of a broadcast assignment, and the other half were print, and they had to think of potential leads and teases and story ideas based on things they saw on the tour, which was a really cool angle to take, and really different than just a generic college tour. We got to go into your guys' newsroom, and they got to work on actually writing their leads and their teases, which felt very authentic. And then we got to come in here, and students got to play around with sitting behind this desk and practicing doing intros, reading from the teleprompter. And then we watched you all record an actual live broadcast. It was such a great experience, especially for us as a brand new program, because it really, only like a month into school, showed students the real world like where they could go with this work and what they're learning.
And that was the thing, when you guys contacted us, we thought, well, sure, this is a great opportunity for our school to kind of welcome you in, and hopefully, your students would be kind of, would be excited about what we do here and enough to want to come here for their 4 years, or maybe think about junior college and then transfer to us eventually. But ultimately to kind of, build a sort of a pipeline, I was thinking, but at the same time, it's also about making it worthwhile for you, right? So, you could come over here and we can just walk around the campus and off you go. But I think to attach a mini assignment kind of adds interest and makes you sort of notice things more, I guess, right? So.
Yeah. Well, and I think they also were really excited to learn that there's such a state-of-the-art program right in their community. So many Del Mar students come to San Jose State, but for them to realize that this is here was great.
Yeah, and of course we got the guy behind the engineering desk.
Del Mar alum, let's go.
I don't know if that'll pick up, but there he is. But what I was really enjoyed about that day, because I was dipping in and dipping out, was that you were shown around by a couple of our students, by Madison, who, by the way, has just won this really prestigious scholarship from the National Association of TV, the NATAS, N-A-T-A-S organization, and she was she was celebrated at almost like the Emmy event, I think it is.
Cool.
Which was so really, really cool. And so there was Madison and a couple of others who also showed you around. And so I guess that also really helps to kind of keep the students excited and because it's kind of peer but not peer. And then we receive all of these sort of really cool postcards with your thoughts on the day, and that was a really nice touch, actually. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's kind of nice. But basically, I've just been given a 3-minute warning, so we have to kind of be wrapping you up in a second. But another thing that we decided to do based off of that was to develop this internship thing, right? And it's sort of a pipeline, but it's also a relationship, and that's what I kind of liked about that idea. And so we have, and I'll just point it up to camera 2 there. These little flyers are all around the building, and they're offering up an internship opportunity for our journalism students to go and mentor your newsroom over the course of a semester, and it counts for internship credit. And also they'll be doing really good service too. So let's just finish off our conversation, Jessica, by maybe talking about the benefits of that.
Yeah, well, on our end, it would be a huge help for me. My background, I initially got into teaching with a history major and was a history teacher. Then I started teaching English, but really, I kind of have no business teaching this class. I have zero background in journalism. Clearly, I am technologically not super savvy by saying an Instagram page. So I would love help. The students here are going to know much more than me. Just getting more experienced people who can help edit students' stories as we move into broadcasting and podcasting. Just even the help with the tech would be extremely beneficial. Right now, the students know a ton and they learn really, really fast, but having some people who have more formal, expertise would be huge. So we would love, ideally, to get 2 to 3 of your students who would be interested in coming in a couple times a week for an hour or so, each visit, and just working with our kids. And our kids are great. They're super motivated. They're really excited. My favorite part is hearing what they want to cover and what stories they're interested in. I love hearing them pitch their ideas, and they have a lot to say. So I think it would be a really good experience for your students too, but we definitely would appreciate the help.
For sure. And I think that, if you're looking for internship credit as a journalism major, this is a great thing to do. It's and you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to give you like a sense of perspective as well, because ultimately when you go into a professional newsroom, you're going to be mentored by others there, and you will be like really grateful for that too. So being able to see what it is that you're looking for with your individual mentees, that's going to be super insightful as well. So, we could chat about this all day.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a boot camp again next year and kind of keeping this going. But thank you, Jessica. Let's bring some of your students on and see what they actually thought about it, right?
Okay. Thanks for having us.
Okay. Hi, and just like that, Jessica's gone, but we're joined by Sophia, Maya, and Luna, who are some of Jessica's students who came here in October and joined us on the boot camp day and sent postcards, and I kind of was super excited to be here as well, I gather, right? So over to you guys. I want to hear what your thoughts were about the day. How did it go? I mean, what were you expecting? What happened? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. We enjoyed it a lot. It was great. We had a lot of fun that day.
Yeah.
For me personally, I didn't have any expectations. Did you?
Me either. I didn't have any expectations going in. I was kind of going in open-minded, and I think if I did have any expectations, it definitely exceeded them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations either.
Yeah.
So you were just thinking you were going on a day trip somewhere?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I knew we were coming here to speak with like the journalism students and directors, but I wasn't really even expecting like how hands-on it was, and that like we didn't just have a tour, but it was almost like a lesson embedded into it. I think that was really great for all of us to kind of learn how to write stories quickly and have like a fast turnover. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And the students were the ones who were really looking after you throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that gave a really interesting perspective, because it was very inspiring to see like actual journalism students, like if we decide to take this route and go further into college with this, and it just like seeing in the future, and like and they were working on their own stories throughout the day. So it was very cool to see them in action and even do some action ourselves and be in the newsroom.
Yeah? So you went upstairs to the daily newsroom.
Yeah.
And you came down here, and I know that you were all kind of playing with a desk and the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So is that something you guys want to take back to Del Mar and try to kind of build on that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the skills that we learned that day have carried over into what we've written so far. And I think just being in the newsroom and getting to see what it's like to actually be able to watch a broadcast in real time, I think that inspired a lot of our students to actually be interested in doing something like that next semester. So I hope we can, and I think that being in here inspired us too.
Right. And I'm hoping that we can get some of our journalism students over to mentor you guys as soon as possible, just for that kind of relationship, as I was saying to Jessica earlier on. Well, I'm really curious to find out, actually. It's like moving beyond, the day that you spent here, and seeing how you kind of like motivated to kind of do this, right? To hopefully be journalists at some point. I'm curious to know, right? You guys in high school right now, what is it that you feel is like so worthwhile, useful, of service, important about journalism? Why is it that you want to become journalists?
That's a really good question. I think for me, it was important that we gave representation to our school, because our school is really diverse. We have a really large student body that has a lot of different students from different ethnic backgrounds and experiences, and I think it was important to show all of that and to be able to give students who don't normally have a voice at our school. Yeah. I don't know, do you want to chime in?
I personally just wanted to have like a news source that would also like take care of like fact checking things. Like usually right now I kind of got invested into journalism because of like fact checking stories and how like sometimes news is like not really accurate to the source, which is why I personally wanted to pursue like being a journalist.
I'd agree, and that's a great point you make because me personally, and I know other students, they were really interested in journalism because they're interested in writing. And we have history classes, we have English classes, and those are great. However, you don't really have much freedom. You're given an assignment. But with journalism, we're given a lot of freedom. We're able to like pitch and pick what stories we want to write each month. We can explore, and of course you don't have that much wiggle room because you have to write in the journalistic style, but it's great to use a little creativity and be able to expand upon our writing skills.
Yeah. And so where do you guys get your news from? I'm curious.
We use a lot of events at our school.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So yeah, we report upon like if we have like holiday stuff going on recently or just events. How would you say?
Yeah, I mean events, I mean any games that we can go to, we try to, any sort of theater, whether it's like a new play or musical, sometimes there's concerts, also just kind of word of mouth. I know some things it's hard to distinguish what's a rumor and what's true, but I think a lot of word of mouth of, oh, there's an event that's happening later today, or there's going to be a walkout. We actually had a walkout at our school to support the teachers, and so it was really fast, the turnover for the story, because we had just heard about it the day before, and the next day we were out reporting on it. So yeah.
That's great. So you kind of like, the school has become like the world that you're reporting on.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so if we fast forward to say, I don't know, like so 4, 5, maybe 6 years down the line, once you've graduated college, right? You finish high school, you graduate college, you're becoming journalists. Where do you see yourselves fitting in? You know, do you see that there's a need for this kind of thing on a big scale, moving outside of your local environment?
For sure, I would say definitely, because you always need to know like what's going on, or even within your community, or news needs to reach people. People need information. They need to know what's going on in the world, what it means to them. So it's a vital part of like our society and like what we need as people.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say like my passion is really like science, and I think there's a lot of, and more specifically health, and I think there's a lot of health misinformation, and so if I was a journalist, I think being able to report on journalism in a way that's educating to people and to people who don't normally have that sort of information, I think that's where I see society needs that sort of journalism, so that people are well informed and are able to make decisions about their bodies that are well informed as well. Yeah.
I agree as well. I feel like information should be available for everybody, no matter their class or whatever.
And do you guys think that your peer group is kind of well informed, or do you think that maybe, I don't know, we're losing something because of the broad spread of media and media platforms that we have around us?
That's a great question. It's such an important point. I would say we're maybe losing a little touch with what's real and what's fake, or misinformation. With like everyone uses social media, everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on TikTok, and there's so much misinformation there. There's so many rumors that go around even our community and our school. So if there's a way that like journalists and like even like starting out in high school, we can do something about that and make the truth become more clear, then that would be great.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would say that I feel like our students are well informed, but on the wrong things. And so I think journalism allows for our students to learn about different people, different perspectives in a way that's educating and informative. And we're giving them a source they can trust. And we're allowing students to also be able to be the ones who would get to write those stories. Yeah.
Yeah, our students, it's not that they don't want to understand like factual information, it's that they don't like have the resources to see actual factual information. So it gets to a point where like the students sometimes just don't care into like researching further into actual factual information.
Well, you guys, we do have to be wrapping this up. But again, you know, this is a conversation that I'm really glad we're having. And it's great to see you guys are sort of all fired up to go out there and to pursue telling the truth, right? Which is a big part of what being a journalist means. We need it more than ever now. So it's great to see that this is still kind of sort of firing you up at such an early stage in your future careers as well. So thank you for coming to the boot camp. Keep in touch and good luck with all of the stuff you're doing. And hopefully, in a couple of years, You guys will move on from being Dons to being Spartans. And we'll see you guys here in this newsroom again.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much
Sure,
for
thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
Okay, so we're wrapping up on this one, and we're going to have our final episode next week, and we're going to be talking to some of our outgoing students, potentially incoming students, hopefully. And next week we'll talk to the outgoing ones, the ones who have finished, graduating, and see what the future holds for them.